How did I get here? What could I have done differently? What if my life was different? Why am I the way that I am? Do these people like me? Do these people hate me? For most of us, our heads are full of thoughts. Feelings and emotions run rampant through our experience of life, and there are thoughts that we just can't stop ourselves from coming back to. Whether it's a failure of the past, a worry about the future, or our attempt to read into and read the minds of the people around us. All of our insecurities and neuroses taking center stage for our lives, every idea we have about ourselves, every want for what we will become, every decision we make on what to do and what not to do, largely come about because of the thoughts we entertain, how we process the past and what we think about the past, how we prepare for the future and what we think about the future, how we're living right now to how we think people are responding to what we're doing. Now, all thoughts are not bad, obviously. Thinking is an important thing for people to do, to create, to solve problems, to take control of one's life in the direction they're going in, or at least to appear to be doing such. Thoughts only become an addiction when they become our escape, what we run to in order to handle the emotions that are arising in us. Our thoughts, no matter how bad or difficult they are, no matter how sad or miserable they make us, still feel comforting and useful because they are ours. So when something bad or difficult happens in your life, and you're able to look back and blame this difficulty on the fact that a parent didn't love you properly, that a teacher didn't help you like they should have helped you, that your friendships should have been better. Yes, you moan and you suffer the reliving of this experience, but at the end of the day, it's a pain that you can control. And since you're not bleeding, you haven't hurt yourself externally, then it's easy to think that this isn't an act of self-harm, that it's your tool to making you feel better over whatever pain you're facing right now, just like a junkie runs to the needle to avoid life and their pains. Thoughts are, for most people, where addictions lie, whether they're running to something in the internal world or they're retreating to their mind to escape what's happening in the external world. Thoughts are the beginning of addiction. And we know this because changing one's thoughts is the first step to escaping any addiction. But what does one do when they're addicted to the thoughts themselves? When all they seem to be able to do is experience the pain, the letdown, the loss, the challenges, the failures that haunt their mind and their life repeatedly, again and again and again. Because as long as you are addicted to your thoughts, you cannot experience true peace and happiness in life. As long as you're addicted to your thoughts, you can't have control over your life. As long as you are addicted to your thoughts, depression, anxiety, fear, worry, and stress will be guests in your mind. You cannot escape your mind inside of your mind. The great problem with an addiction to thoughts, with finding yourself desperately and constantly comparing everything you've experienced to the past, with you building elaborate future consequences for everything that's happening right now, and for you retreating and wishing that things would be different and that you'd be different than you are with whatever is happening right now, is that there is no leaving your mind behind. A drug addict can avoid the drugs. An alcoholic doesn't have to step foot in a liquor store or a bar. But thoughts are even worse than food, because most people, even the most food addicted, have periods of time when they're not eating. The only respite from thought most people have is a few hours when they're sleeping. And even then, their mind can be active and they can be dreaming. No, most people don't know how to handle their thoughts because they've never experienced life without a thought. They're long removed from their childlike wonder when they could stare at a tree and just see a tree, play in the dirt and feel and smell the earth around them, where they could live life without having to explain the life they're living to themselves. Most people have become narrators of their own lives and experiences, plotting out and preparing for their day, making judgments on everything and anything they see, losing themselves in whatever dissatisfaction or annoyance is running around in their brain. To truly experience the world, for the world is foreign for most people. To see something and just let it be what it is without the story or the narrative can feel impossible sometimes. We are always looking for meaning. We are always looking for why something happened or what it's going to mean for our lives. Many people spend their entire lives pursuing meaning and purpose in their attempt to answer that singular question of why. Why be alive? Why live in this time? Why have all these things happen? Just why? But all of that is just another trap of the mind. another attempt to bring us back into our heads and out of the world. It is another path to our endless addiction of thoughts. The truth is that for one to escape the mind, you don't eliminate your thoughts, because that would require you to think about your thoughts, and once more find yourself in the same addiction again. It is to learn to not attach yourself to your thoughts, to allow yourself to let your thoughts come and go in your mind without entertaining them, to sit still and in silence, with your eyes open or closed, and steadying your breathing to a slow and consistent breath. And then as a thought arises in your mind, you don't disturb it, you don't bother it. Like muddy water, the best way to clear it up is to leave it alone. And what you'll find is that the longer you leave your thoughts alone and don't engage with them, the quieter and quieter they become. What you begin to realize is that these thoughts have nothing to do with you. They are not who you are, and they don't define you or your experience. The thoughts that felt so addictive are at the end just a product of electricity and neurons firing in the brain. And when you can begin to divorce yourself from your thoughts, begin to see the world for what it is, experience life without a filter and without comparison, without having to define or make sense of everything that you see, when you stop your addiction to your thoughts, you move yourself from living in your mind to living in the world. And that can be jarring and difficult at first. But the reward at the end is a life without meaningless suffering, a life without unnecessary and unneeded stress and anger, a life experiencing the eternal now, living for this moment, this time, this life, and living it fully and completely. Hey, wait 1 second. I've got something big to share with you. Thanks for watching that video. If you made it this far, you hopefully enjoyed it. And if you enjoyed it, we put out one at least every other day. Hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notifications at the bottom of the video. And keep an eye out for the next video. Also, I'm building a community of people who want to transform their lives over a year. It's called the Cosmic Joke Challenge. If you want to find out what the Cosmic Joke Challenge is, you'll learn that and more in our 100% free Facebook group, which will be growing a library of content not available on YouTube. The link will be available in the description box below. Click it, join, and start transforming your life today.